Next, let's make the necklace. Cut a piece of thread from the head of the crochet work. Pull out one strand and thread it through a thin needle. Make sure the needle can pass through the seed beads. First, thread 22 seed beads. The exact number of seed beads can also be determined according to your preference. The number of samples is random. Then, thread in one silver pearl. After completing, tie the yarn tail with a double knot. Ensure the necklace is loose enough. Weave in the yarn tail through the beads to secure it. The other yarn tail should be secured in the same way. Just finish it up, everyone. That concludes the explanation of how to make the necklace. Next, let's learn about clothing. Take a look at the finished product. The clothing includes the skirt fabric piece, long skirt, lining and decorations. Start by crocheting the skirt fabric piece, then make the long skirt. After that, create the lining. Finally, add various decorations. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific making method. The skirt fabric piece is divided into 3 parts. Begin with the chain ring method. Crochet the upper part. Then continue working in rounds from the starting point. Crochet the lower part. Then work on the skirt hem. The new stitch used here is the TV half double crochet increase. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Take the corresponding yarn, start with a beginning chain, crochet the corresponding number of chain stitches. For the exact stitch count, please refer to the chart. After completing it, you can compare it with the waist position of the main piece. The chain stitches should be roughly consistent with the waist size. Finally, join to the first stitch with a slip stitch to form a circle. Circle the chains. You can fold it like this, with the right side facing you. Mind that the chains don't twist. Pick up the first chain with the hook through the top half loop. Work one slip stitch. Pull tight. That's how you complete the starting chain. Move on to the first round. Start with 1 chain. This will act as the beginning chain for the single crochet. The beginning chain of the single crochet does not count as a stitch. Next, pick up the half loop above the chains. Work single crochets evenly. Continue all the way down until you finish this round. Pay attention to the first stitch. Crochet it into the insertion point of the slip stitch. Place the starting tail at the back for now, and leave it alone. Try to make the upper part tighter. Don't make it too loose. After you're done, you can check the stitch count. Finish with a slip stitch. Pull tight. That completes the first round. We'll consider the side with clearer texture as the right side. The second round is identical to the first one. Work single crochets in rounds, corresponding stitch by stitch. Leave a tail of about 5 centimeters. Cut the yarn. The method is very simple. Just complete it as instructed. After the second round is completed, start the third row below. Take the new yarn. Locate the slip stitch position from the previous round. On the opposite side, join the yarn at a stitch roughly in the center. Chain 1 to begin. Work 1 single crochet in the same stitch. Then continue working single crochets evenly. Complete this round. Pay attention to weaving in the yarn tail. When you reach the slip stitch position from the previous round, insert your hook into that stitch and work accordingly. Weave in the yarn tail together. After finishing the last stitch, start with the insertion point for the first stitch. Work 1 more single crochet. This round has increased by 1 stitch compared to the previous round. That completes the third row. For rows 4 through 9, you will work back and forth, crocheting even single crochets. The method is very simple. Just complete it. After finishing the 9th row, move on to crochet the 10th row. Start with 1 chain stitch. Turn over your work. Crochet 6 single crochets first. Then work 12 half double crochets. Follow up with 6 double crochets. After completing, leave a 5 cm tail, and cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail along the texture of the wrong side. Just finish it up. That completes the upper part. Now move on to crochet the lower part. For a better texture appearance, at the joining position for the beginning chain, insert your hook into the single crochet insertion point. Pick up the other 2 strands to join the yarn. Then refer to the chart and crochet in rounds with the corresponding stitch pattern. Pay attention. When slip stitching, start by crocheting the standing stitch. Make sure to weave in the yarn tails together. Continue picking up the remaining 2 strands of the chain, and crochet accordingly. For the final round, finish with a slip stitch. The method is very simple. Please refer to the previous demonstration. Follow the chart to complete the remaining part. For the last round of slip stitches on the lower section, do not tighten it yet. Next, we will fasten off. Stretch the loop. Leave a yarn tail of about 10 centimeters, then cut the yarn. Insert the crochet hook from the wrong side, and exit through the second stitch on the left. Tuck the yarn tail to the wrong side. Then draw it through the V-shaped chain of the slip stitch, which is the same chain where the previous yarn tail was located. From that specific braid, continue to tuck the yarn tail to the wrong side again. Adjust the loop slightly. This completes the fastening off process. There won't be any visible slip stitch marks on the surface. Hide the yarn tail on the wrong side. The method is very simple. Just make sure to complete it properly. That's how you finish the lower part of the skirt. Lastly, work on the hem of the skirt. Start with the first round. Pick up the corresponding yarn in the chain space between the upper and lower sections. Crochet 1 round of slip stitches. You can start from any position. Begin by leaving a small yarn tail. Pay attention, slip stitch as you normally would. There's no need to pull it tight. If your tension is too tight, you can slightly enlarge the loop before crocheting. This will make it easier for the following stitches. After completing the last chain space, stretch the loop. Leave a yarn tail of about 10 centimeters and cut the yarn. Thread the yarn tail into a sewing needle. Pass it through the initial slip stitch braid. Then bring it back through the previous loop. And carry it to the wrong side. Adjust accordingly. This way, the finishing surface won't show any seam marks. You can count the slip stitch braids to match them with the stitch count in the chart. Tie the 2 yarn tails together and hide the knot. That's all you need to do to complete it. This completes the first row. Now move on to the second row. Turn the fabric piece so the lower part is facing up. First, locate the opening position of the upper part. Find the corresponding slip stitch braid. Join the yarn at the braid. Then make one chain as your beginning chain. Next, follow the chart and crochet the corresponding stitches. Be mindful to weave in the yarn tail. For this round, pick up all the slip stitches, crochet the braid. When you reach the end, leave one single crochet unworked. Directly start crocheting at the joining position. After completing, check the stitch count. This completes the second row. Now move on to the third row. Start with one chain as your beginning chain. Turn the work over. Then work one single crochet decrease. Be mindful of the decreases when working back and forth. Continue with regular crocheting. Start with one incomplete single crochet. Insert the hook into the stitch. Pull the yarn through. One incomplete single crochet is now complete. Continue with another incomplete single crochet. Insert the hook into the next stitch on the left. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over. And draw through in once. Single crochet decrease completed. Continue with corresponding single crochets. Finally, make one more single crochet decrease. Start by working 2 incomplete single crochets. 1, 2. Yarn over again. Pull through all loops on the hook once. Single crochet decrease is now complete. That's how you finish the third row. For the following 4th to 6th rows, simply refer to the chart and work back and forth. Everyone can finish it this way. After completing the 6th row, for the 7th row below, continue crocheting while referring to the chart. You will encounter a new stitch technique, TV, which stands for half double crochet increase. Let me demonstrate here. The technique of half double crochet increase. It means crocheting 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. 2 half double crochets in one stitch. 1, 2. Half double crochet increase is completed. Then continue referring to the chart afterward. And finish this row. Finally, leave a yarn tail of about 5 centimeters. And break the yarn. After completing the 7th row, finally, crochet the edging. Turn the skirt piece to the right side. At the middle stitch of the first row, join the yarn in the chain formed by the slip stitch. Start with 1 chain. Then on the left edge of the piece, pick up 2 strands of the edge. Crochet approximately 7 single crochets evenly. Pay attention to weaving in the yarn tail. Below is the stitch position. Correspondingly, make single crochets. Continue to weave in the yarn tail. After completion, move to this side edge. Crochet approximately 7 single crochets evenly. After finishing, stretch the loop, leave a 10 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Thread the yarn tail into a sewing needle. Insert it into the starting joining point. Then bring it back through the chain where the tail is located. Adjust accordingly. Then weave in the yarn tail following the texture on the wrong side. You can finish it like this. That's how you complete the edging. The hem has also been explained. Take a look, everyone. This is the skirt piece. Here's the completed sample swatch. Next, we'll make the long skirt. Let's check out the finished product. The long skirt includes tulle, gold tulle, ribbon and hidden snaps. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific making method. Start by making the tulle. Take out 2 colors of tulle. Cut each color into 8 pieces. Each piece is about 25 centimeters in length. Then lay out the tulle with blue on the right and pink on the left in order. Place between every 2 pieces of tulle. Overlap by half the width. Everyone, follow this method to lay out all the tulle flat. Then cut a piece of blue yarn. Take 1 strand and thread it through the needle. Tie a knot at the end of the yarn. Here, I've already prepared it. Take the laid out tulle from right to left across the top, about 0.5 e centimeter away from the edge. Start threading the yarn. When sewing, pay attention to making the stitches as fine and dense as possible. Sew to the overlapping position, and thread both pieces of tulle together. Following this method, thread all the tulle. After threading everything, tidy up the tulle. Evenly lay it out to a width of 10 centimeters. You can take the threaded tulle and compare it with the lower part of the skirt. The sides are roughly around the side edges of the skirt, slightly towards the front position. The specific width, you can also determine according to your preference. Mindful that the color of the long dress matches with the headband's color, should be corresponded. After confirming the width, tie off the thread and cut it. This way, the tulle is made. Next, make the golden mesh. Take out the tulle. Lay it horizontally on the tulle evenly. The top is roughly aligned. Pay attention to the direction of the pattern. Above the tulle position. Must be evenly distributed. Take the thread in the same way as sewing the tulle. Note that the knot can be tied a bit larger. Then fold the tulle to the right, about 1 centimeter width. Sew it together with the tulle. Sew at the thread position of the tulle. You can sew a few more stitches at the starting position. Secure the edge properly. Then fold it about 1 centimeter to the left. The tool forms this kind of texture. Continue sewing. Below, follow this folding method. Fold and sew as you go. After sewing, tidy up a bit. Don't pull the entire tool too tight. You can cut off the excess tool along the edge of the tool. Then sew a few more stitches at the end to secure it properly. Then tie a knot and cut the thread. This way, the golden tool is also made. Below, on this side of the tool, add a ribbon. Cut a piece and sew it to the top position of the tool. A blue ribbon with roughly the same width. Burn the ends with fire to prevent fraying. Then take the yarn as before. Sew the ribbon to the top of the tool. Pay attention not to pass the thread through the tool. Finally, tie a knot and cut the thread. The ribbon is now sewn on. Next, take out the snap button. The snap button is divided into two parts like this, sew the part with the dent onto the ribbon. Approximately at the middle and both ends positions. Take the yarn as before. Sew the snap button securely. The side with the dent faces up. Pay attention not to pass the thread through the tool. Don't thread too many times, to prevent it from not being able to fasten in the end. Finally, tie a knot and cut the thread. That's one side of a snap button, and it's sewn together. For the remaining two positions, sew them together in the same way. You all just need to finish it. After sewing the snap buttons on the long skirt below, take the remaining part with the protrusion and sew it onto the lower part of the skirt fabric piece. Place the long skirt on the lower part of the fabric piece. At the bottom of the skirt. If you're worried about the position not being precise here, you can put the skirt on your body. Insert from above. And then compare it. Pay attention to the top of the long skirt. It should roughly correspond to the base of the hem. Don't extend beyond it. If there's too much excess at the top of the hem, you can trim it a bit. Secure it with pins at the middle and both ends positions. Let down the skirt and check if it fits properly. Make sure the long skirt part doesn't show. After confirming everything is correct, mark the position with pins. Then at these 3 positions, sew the remaining part of the hidden snap, just like before. Take the yarn in the same way as before. With the raised part facing up. Pay attention not to sew through to your body. After sewing, tie off and weave in the ends neatly. This completes the sewing of the raised part of the hidden snap. It's now sewn together. Sew the remaining parts using the same method. Just complete it as you go. That concludes the explanation of how to install the hidden snap. Finally, fasten the long skirt. If there are any raised parts on the edges, you can trim them slightly. Be mindful not to cut the seam. Up to this point, the explanation of the long skirt is complete. Next, we'll make the lining. Take out the wide blue ribbon. Wrap it around the body at the underarm position. Note that you need to change the clothing. Make sure the right side is out. Overlap the ends by a certain distance. Trim off the excess ribbon. Burn the ends with fire. Then take out a piece of blue yarn. Pull out one strand and weave it into the sewing needle. Tie a knot at the end of the yarn. The color of the sample swatch is random. Sew together the overlapping part of the ribbon. Note that the overlapping part should be on the wrong side of the body. You can secure it with pins first. When sewing, you can sew it together with the body. Then tie a knot and cut the thread. That's how you make the lining. Finally, add decorations to the clothing. Take a look at the finished product. The decorations include chain decorations, 2-star decorations and candy decorations. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific making method. Start by making the chain decoration. Take the yarn in the same way as sewing the lining. Do not tie a knot at the ending. The color of the sample swatch is random. Then take out the chain. Cut off 6 beads. Pay attention to leave 10 loops at both the beginning and end. Take about the middle bead, corresponding to the opening position of the dress. Find on one side of the chain a roughly centered loop. Sew it at the indentation above the hem of the skirt. The position is approximately below the opening position. There is an interval of 2 SC positions. First, weave in the tail in the blue thread area. After confirming it's secure, then sew this loop. Pay attention to tightening. Try not to let the stitches show. Then carry the yarn across through the fabric. On the left side, skip 4 stitches. Sew the loop that is centered between 2 beads on the left. Repeat this process. Continue skipping 4 stitches, and sew the loop that is centered between 2 beads. When you reach the ending position, take the beginning and ending loops. Sew them together at the corresponding position. For the last sewing spot, it can be roughly centered. Finally, tie off and weave in the ends. That's how you make the chain decoration. Next, put the garment on. The top of the skirt should sit under the arm. The forked part should be centered and facing forward. To prevent the fabric piece from curling, you can secure it with glue. Pay attention while securing. Leave a certain gap in the middle of the fork. The other side can also be secured similarly. Now, let's trim the long skirt. On the finished product, the bottom of the long skirt should reach the tip of the toes. Tidy up the long skirt first. Then cut off the excess part. The specific length to reserve can also be determined according to your preference. Now the clothing is now worn properly. Then add 2 star decorations on the corresponding position of the upper part of the skirt. The exact positions can also be determined according to your preference. Next, on the tulle of the long skirt, glue the candy decorations. There are two types of candy decorations, hearts and star decorations. Place the star decorations in the blue area and the heart decorations in the pink area. The locations and quantities for each area are random. You can determine them based on your preference. Just go ahead and complete it on your own. That concludes the explanation of the decorations. Next, put on the necklace. Finally, attach the head properly. Up to this point, the entire doll has been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website, Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.